Prince Andrew strikes again. He's back. He's back. He's back in his new show, Scoop. No, there was a dramatisation of his the interview he did with Newsnight and his friendship with Mr. J Steen over there in New York. So let's get on. Oh yeah, give us a sub if you so wish. Oh, let's have a look over it. Yeah. So Scoop. It's on Netflix. Rufus Seal played Prince Andrew pretty well, I'd say. Newsnight producer Sam McAllister, Billy Piper. I once saw Billy Piper in a pub many years ago when she was with Chris Evans. It was a long time ago, and they were being too loud and they left because I was being annoying as well. Emily Maitlis is played by the wonderful, the phenomenal Gillian Anderson, who we've all been in love with since 1994, haven't we? Gillian Anderson, we have. There's no messing around. And yeah, I think that's most of the main cast. And I thought it was all right. I thought it was all right. I did. This is what it looks like. A bit up journalism's ass. You know what I mean? Oh, we're journalists. We fight truth, man. Yeah. We can have a little nose. The famous pictures. That was quite a nice little scene running through the park. So it's all about getting the interview with Prince Andrew. Of course, the ill-fated interview. Not ill-fated, because he's fine, apart from some cash had to be paid out. International 6 trafficker and potential rapist. Jeffrey Epstein, of course. Was he the boss? Let's not get too much into it. Was he the big boss? Or was he working for someone? Look into it, bro. Had what appeared to be blackmail operations on his island and in his New York mansion, which I've been to, but only many years after he died, and I was very hungover, so I did stand outside his house. If I get time, maybe I'll edit in the picture. No, actually, I look pretty gross. It was a real bad hangover in New York. Yeah, sex trafficking, raping girls, and under the guise of massage and being groomed by Ghislaine Maxwell. All that good stuff. It's bad stuff. I don't know why I said good stuff. It is definitely bad stuff. But it's about an interview where it kind of comes more into the public eye again that he remained friends with Epstein after his initial conviction, even after denying that he did. Now, a weird man, Prince Andrew, obviously likes cuddly toys. And I have seen an interview with a former royal protection officer who used to guard Buckingham Palace, and yeah, the rumours were he likes his cuddly toys to this day, stacked up in a certain way. And there's a great little scene where he's like forcing this poor maid to and Kanga has to go with Rue. Phenomenal. But there is Rufus Sewell's Andrew over there on the right. Yeah, I did think he played him pretty well. Fantastic. That almost looks like a thumbnail to me. But an odd man, an odd posh twat, I'd say, sort of overly pampered, unaware more than anything else, and rumour has it was involved in some of the stuff with Epstein despite denials, although they did pay the palace paid out £12 million in combo. Some of it came out the old late Queen's purse, probably what did for her in the end, her favourite son being involved in that. Can you imagine? But I did like the scene where chasing through Central Park and all that stuff to try and get that picture. So I did very much enjoy it. And what has Andrew done over the years, really? He's been an arms dealer. Well, I say an arms dealer. He was a representative for British trade and was involved kind of on the fringes of a serious fraud investigation against BAE Systems, bribing people to take arms contracts and all that kind of stuff. And the lead investigator for this thing was summoned to the palace to get a bollocking. So, murky individual anyway. He's only into international arms and sex trade. I mean, perfectly normal, I guess. Do we need sort of Dungeons and Dragons things? But Gillian Anderson was fantastic as Maitlis. As I'm not. It was good to get the interview. It wasn't like some sort of major coup. It wasn't really a scoop because the news was out there. But I guess it did highlight it to a lot more people. And of course, he's delighted though, Andrew. He goes, I like how I was portrayed in that, which is odd. But yeah, so served in the Royal Navy of course. Let me just bring this back to no, actually let's stay on the little Scooby-Doop. served in the Navy, of course, and one of his excuses, I couldn't have done that thing with that girl in London because, one, I never went there. There's a photo. That could be fake. But also that night, I was in a Pizza Express in Woking, which is near Reading. It's about 40 minutes outside of London, if anyone wants to know that. Suddenly he remembers that, though. And she said, he brought me a drink in this club. He's like, I don't know where the bar is in there. Couldn't have been me. What a great defense. I don't know where the bar was in there. That couldn't have been me that brought her a drink. Definitely didn't rape her. And also, she said he was sweaty and clammy. And he goes, well, then I can't sweat. Well, I couldn't sweat at that time. At that time, I couldn't sweat. So I presumably he could sweat before, had an injury in the Falklands War, which made him not able to be sweat handily at the time that some sweaty man was getting his grubs all over some poor girl all around the world, it seems. But presumably by his statement, he can sweat now. So was it just that night? It's like, the injury, the war injury. One of the fake medals was for that war injury. It's for distinguished conduct in non-sweating. Caught a shell on his head, so he doesn't sweat for the day that a sweaty man is accused of horrendous things with that lady, poor Virginia Roberts. And then he can sweat again by that. So little odd defence. Of course, there's no evidence out in the public eye of any of this, really. It's just he give her 12 million quid to shut up. And I hope she doesn't. I hope she doesn't shut up. I hope she writes a book. What did you think of Scoop? What did you think of it? I quite liked it, obviously, because it is a... I think it's just quite a well-made bit of telly, really. That's it. I don't like the cheesy, the journalists for the truth. I don't like that cheese at the end, because some of them, at least, not the BBC's biggest fan. But the interview was good, and I think they did a fairly good job, even though they could have tried to get him on a couple of other things that would have been more interesting, get him to apologise and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's a 45-minute interview. I want to rewatch it because it was mental. They got the highlights in this, though. So, I don't know, if you're a fan of actor Prince Andrew, I guess, go and watch Scoop, I'd say. It's his new show. That's what it did sound like at the beginning. But yeah, give us a sub if you so would. And if you've made it this far, please. Thank you very much. It means a lot. And I think that's about it for today. That's a nice little ramble for a Friday. O.J. Simpson's dead. But we might talk about that in another thing. Go watch Scoop. Go and watch the original interview. Of Mr. I Cannot Sweat. And you wonder what did for the poor old Queen. And I'm not talking about Freddie Mercury. All right? Goodbye. I almost said I love you, but I don't. I like you and respect you and thank you for subscribing and all that stuff. Listen, I got to eat. I'm hungry. That's what it was. It's calorie deficit. See ya.